All right, y'all. Welcome to Parallel Play. For the first iteration of Sonic Study Hall. So we're starting today with this experiment, cultivating intentional sound. Before we get into that, I want to do a little introduction for Parallel Play itself. It's a one of a kind listening room. I definitely haven't walked into a room like this before. It's an experience for a lot of folks coming in to see this range of mixes with not just sound but also a lot of other elements. Fashion's always here. And Daku, that's your stuff too over there, right? So we have some cool stuff on display too, and some of the creators are in this room as well. Today's event though is very sound forward, it's sound focused. So if you haven't already, please do put your phones on silent, do not disturb. We want to cut out all distractions and really tune in, tap in with the journey that will be led on very soon. A little bit about Shami. I've been seeing Shami do his stuff for the last couple months, cultivating very intentional mix of events here, really moving culture forward, bearing it, which is a mix of events that happens here. It's a lot of it's a space that's also conducive to running experiments. So I think when it comes to sonic study hall, that's what we're starting with here at Parallel Play. We have 3 Sundays. It's a recurring season. It's a recurring event series through spring and summer. We already have the schedule finalized for this month, but also stay tuned for June and July. And with that, I'll give it to Shami to introduce our artist of the day.
Thank you, Salman. Disco share, everyone. So yeah, welcome to Parallel Play. We are a listening room and learning center in Humboldt Park, Chicago. This is the first premiere of the Sonic Study Hall series with our premier selector here at Daku. I had the pleasure to meet Daku about 1 year ago through mutual friends, and yeah, I'm very grateful to have met Daku. He really tapped me back into some of the South Asian culture and some of the music that I listened to when I was a child. So it really brought me back, and I'm very grateful to have him here today. So we're gonna have a very special lecture about the music that inspires Daku, the story behind it, the inspiration. And we want to try something different. We want to share it with you all in an intimate setting where we can all kind of engage with the music. A lot of times when you see a DJ playing, there seems to be a barrier between the public and the person performing. So we kind of want to break those barriers, break down those superficial roadblocks, and have a very intimate kind of conversation. So with that, I would love to introduce Daku, our premier selector for our first Sonic Study Hall. And again, I want to thank you all for coming here and giving us your time. We were here for our community. The community has done so much for me, so I'm just here, just paying it forward. So with that, I'll give the floor here to Daku. Thank you.
What's up, yo? My name is Daku. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you, Parallel Play and Shami, for hosting this and like creating a space where this is possible. I haven't done like anything like this before, so I'll probably like mess up a lot. So please like forgive me for that. Also, like the topic that I chose to cover, it's got like semi-religious stuff involved. So if I make any mistakes, please forgive me. And yeah, when I was like trying to decide like what I'm gonna do for this talk, it was like a mix of things because I like a wide range of music. It was like I was thinking initially like I'll do it like on the history of Punjab and some of the folk music forms that we have in Punjab. That was one of the things. The other one was obviously Qawwali because I love Qawwali and I was like, okay, we can do something around that. The other one was like shoegaze, like if you all know it, like it's like this UK based, like really dense textural guitar based like genre. Also super like I think it's like really interesting, meditative, and like there's things you keep finding in like repeat listen. So I thought that would be cool. I also love hip hop, so there was that. The story of hip hop is also really cool. um but then, like, trying to narrow it down, I was like, okay, what do I really pick, right? And so I was like, okay, I have to go back to something which is like I really really love, and like I know something about a little bit about. I've experienced it in person, and like, yeah, just something that I love the most. So that narrowed it down to like Qawwali and like Punjabi folk music. And then I was like, okay, between these two I'll go with Qawwali, because there's like a very rich history. There's a lot of documentation around it. And yeah, I'm excited to share like something that I love with y'all. And I'll like start off with something like we'll briefly play it. This is by Bade Ghulam Ali Khan. And Bade Ghulam Ali Khan was like one of the, not the founders, he was one of the main like people who really started the Patiala Gharana, which is like where Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan comes from. So yeah, so like, yeah, all respect to Bade Ghulam Ali Khan. It's like a blessing that we have his records on vinyl. And yeah, so we're gonna listen to a raga called Rag Malkons. And yeah, let's talk to that. Check, check. Yeah. So that was Rag Malkons, like which is up there on the screen. And feel free to like talk amongst yourself and like make noise during the listening too. Like it's not that like y'all can like itna adab zaruri nahi hai, like because it's just like chilling scene. Um, but yeah, that's Rag Malkons. Like so, it's what it's saying there is like these are the notes that are part of it, like sa ga ma dha ni sa, like so five notes basically because sa is getting repeated, so sa ga ma dha ni, and it's saying like what notes are important, ma and sa, and then it's saying like the pakad, which is ga ma dha ni sa ni dha ma ga si. So and it's in rag. This is rag bhairavi. It's supposed to be played at midnight or the seventh like path of the night, like seventh division of the day. Like so, ragas are divided into like 8 divisions, and so yeah, so it's on the seventh, like from I think 0 to 3 a.m., like from midnight to 3 a.m., and it's for like deep meditation, but it's also like a strong raga, like it's I'll explain, I'll get into it more because we like encountered this later as well, like it's a commonly used raga. And yeah, and with that I'll get started with the other stuff. All right, so this talk is called Mystics, Music, and Poetry, and it's like difficult coming up with like fucking talk, like you know what I mean. Um, okay, so like we'll give a brief overview of like what we're going to talk about. We're going to get into like what is Qawwali, like how do you understand it. We'll talk about Sufism in India. We'll talk about some of the major figures in this movement. We'll talk about Hazrat Amir Khusro, um, who is like the person who started Qawwali and invented it. We'll go through like a little, like a brief, like very high level overview of understanding like Desi music, like Hindustani classical, which includes like some basic things like sur, rag, and tal. Sur are like notes. Rag is like an arrangement of those notes or melody, and tal is the rhythm. And then we'll talk about one of my favorite Sufis or mystics, Kabir, and we'll watch some stuff from this documentary called Had Anhad. And we'll talk about towards the end about like the rules and etiquette of Qawwali, like how you're supposed to listen to it or how like it was intended to be listened to, some of like the interesting stuff around that. Then we'll get into like early modern poets, like people like Bulle Shah, Waris Shah, Kabir, Guru Nanak, like and Shah Hussain, people who are like really influential on like the modern sound of Qawwali and whose kalams are actually sung today. And then we'll just get into Qawwali today and listen. And throughout this thing, we'll be listening to some really like interesting stuff. And I've like spent a lot of time like digging weird things to share with y'all. And, and like mad respect to the people like on YouTube who are like just putting stuff out there. You know, there's like Hamza Akram Kawal, Ali Adnan Saab, lot of like people, great people whose work I was able to learn through and whatnot. So with that, I forgot what's next. Okay, yeah, I wanna start with this saying by Bulle Shah, and Bulle said, "Gal samajh li te rola ki, Ram Rahim te Maula ki," which means like if you've understood the word or the essence, then what is this like rolla about, which is like what are you making a nuisance about, you know? What is the difference between Ram, Rahim, and Maula? And Ram is like obviously the Hindu word for God. Rahim is one of the names of Allah, and Maula again is just a word used broadly in the subcontinent to refer to God. And so that's what Bulle is saying, like if you've understood the essence and the truth, then what is this fuss about? And with that, we're gonna start with the first Qawwali we're gonna listen to. It's called Man Kunto Maula Fahaza. It's called Man Kunto Maula. And it's based on this thing which is referred to as a call. And calls are basically famous sayings of either the Prophet or other revered figures. And their sayings are made into these songs which are sung in various forms. And so this call is, it says like whoever I am friend to, Ali is his friend too. Like this is what the Prophet said. And there's many like translations of it, but there's like I think there's 18 different ways to translate Maula. So that just shows you like the number of entendres there are baked into some of the poetry that we have today. Okay, so with that, let me find the record. So this is a record by Farid Ayaz and Abu Muhammad Kawal. Um, the first Qawwali Gharana to ever be started, called the Dilli Bacha Gharana. These guys are descendants of the first Qawwals. They're like the 26th generation, and they carried the tradition on with like a lot of love and care. And like they also, I met them at South Asia Institute when they came to perform here, and they were kind enough to like sign the record for me. And then they told me a story. They were like, "Oh, we ourselves don't even have this record." So that like tells you a bit about the malang halat of like some of these people. Like they're like, "Oh, we ourselves don't have this record," so I've been like looking for this for them as well. Um, but yeah, so I'll start with this, and the Qawwali is called Man Kunta Mola.
कव्वाली तजवीज़ फरमाया और कव्वाली में उस की तमाम असनाफ़ को इल्म मूसिक़ी की जितनी भी मुमकिना असनाफ़ थीं और हैं उन तमाम को कव्वाली में समोया और कव्वाली के गुलदस्ते में उसको सजाया। कव्वाली के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कव्वाली का पढ़ने वाला उन तमाम असनाफ़ से जो मूसिक़ी की मुख्तलिफ़ असनाफ़ कहलाती हैं, खा वो क्लासिकल हो या ठुमरी हो, दादरा हो, ध्रुपद हो या उसमें मज़ामीन आरिफाना हो, तमाम से कमा हक़हु वाक़िफ़ हो। ज़्यादा तफसील में नहीं जाना चाहता। सबसे पहले हज़रत अमीर खुसरो का कौल पेश करूँगा और उसके बाद मुझे हिदायत है कि मैं कव्वाली का वो आरिफाना रंग पेश करूँ कि जो तमाम लोगों के दिलों को लुभाता है। इजाज़त। कव्वाली में तमाम राग इस खूबसूरती के साथ दर्जा बदर्जा वन बाई वन आते हैं और अपनी अपनी खूबसूरतियां बखेर कर वो पर्दे के पीछे चले जाते हैं। सा सा दा दा सा रे 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 गा सा दा दा सा रे रे सा सा गा सा रे गा पा गा सा रे गा रे 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 पा 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 गा दा 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 पा 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 दा पा गा दा पा गा गा पा रे रे गा सा रे आ सा गा रे रे पा गा गा दा दा पा दा सा दा दा पा गा रे गा 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 रे गा 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 पा रे गा 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 पा पा दा रे रे पा 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 रे गा सा रे रे गा गा पा पा दा पा दा दा पा गा रे गा पा दा दा पा गा रे सा रे गा पा दा पा गा। तवज्जो चाहूंगा, किस खूबसूरती से राग अपना चेहरा बदलता है। सा रे गा पा दा पा गा सा रे गा पा दा पा दा सा दा दा पा पा मा गा पा मा गा सा रे रे गा गा मा मा पा नी दा दा नी पा नविश्त बरे दरे जन्नत नविश्त बर दरे जन्नत बखते सबज़ो जली शफीरो दे क़यामत मोहम्मद अरबी अली हजार जान गिराओ में। क्या बात है। फिदा बना बे अली मन कुल तो मौला मन कुल तो मौला चाहूंगा आखिर ये तोम तनाना 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 ये है क्या? तोम तनाना 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 तोम तनाना तोम तन 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 तनाना तन तनाना तन तनाना तन तनाना तन तनाना तनाना हो तन रबाब मन की गिरी सोर के भाई सब ताला तन रबाब मन की गिरी सोर बच्चों का तालिब हूँ तन 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 तो अब लफ्ज़ बयां सब खत्म हुए 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 अब लफ्ज़ बयां का काम नहीं अब लफ्ज़ बयां सब खत्म हुए अब लफ्ज़ बयां का काम नहीं अब लफ्ज़ बयां सब खत्म हुए अब लफ्ज़ बयां का काम नहीं अब लफ्ज़ बयां सब खत्म हुए अब लफ्ज़ बयां का काम नहीं अब लफ्ज़ बयां सब खत्म हुए अब लफ्ज़ बयां का काम नहीं अब इश्क है खुद पैगाम अपना और इश्क का खुद पैगाम नहीं ताना ना ताना ना ना रे ताना ना ताना ना रे ताना ना ताना ना रे ताना ना फारिग फारिग az fikre najatam tanana haya फारिग az fikre najatam tanana haya फारिग az fikre najatam tanana haya मग़फ़िरत पेश तरज़ मौसियतम करद ज़ुहूर मग़फ़िरत पेश तरज़ मौसियतम करद ज़ुहूर फरमाते हैं कि मग़फ़िरत मेरे गुनाह से पहले मुझे माफ करने पे राजी है मग़फ़िरत पेश तरज़ मौसियतम करद ज़ुहूर फारिग अज़ फ़िक्र नजातम तनना हायाहू तनना तनना रे तनना रे तनना रे तनना रे या लाली या लाली ए ला या लाली 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 या ला 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 या ला 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 मन कुल को मौला
Yeah, the spirit has come into the mic. And y'all might be the first like group of people to sit through like an 18-minute long Qawwali in Chicago. And like so thank you. Yeah, like but yeah, I wanted to play that for an initial taste because that's like what the live performances are like. They build it up slowly and they build this like state of ecstasy, and they're like, and there's like meanings behind everything that they're doing, even the ta na 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 re, or the ya lali ya lali ya lali comes from ya ali. It's like a form of music made by Amir Khosrow called tarana, and in taranas they go like, they have these shortened sayings, and like Ya Lali, Ya Lala, Ya Lali is Ya Ali, Ya Lala is Ya Allah, and so on. I'll get into that later on. But and during this Kawali, I don't like. Do you all understand a bit of like? Are there people who understand a bit of like Hindi, Urdu, or yeah? So yeah. So in during the Kawali, I also wanted to play it because like Farid Asab himself like explains a lot of concepts which we will go through later as well. And yeah, it's just yeah. Thank you for sitting through and enjoying that with me. And yeah, we'll move on. And so I think when we think of Qawwali, like the very first person that comes to our mind is Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab. And Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan was born on 13th of October 1948 and passed on from here on 16th August 1997. And that makes him a Libra, I think. But I'm not an astronomy person. But he is called Shenshai Kawal. Like he is one of the like he's called the king of the kings of Kawal. Like he was that good. And the first time he sang was actually at his father's Chelam, which is celebrated 40 days after somebody passes on to the next life. And that's the first time he sang. Initially, like when he was younger, his father actually did not want him to get into music because he saw how tough of like a profession it is. And but Nusrat was like always keen, and he would like hide and listen to his father teaching other students, and through that he learned riyaz. And first he initially joined as a tabla player in the group, and that's why like during his kawalis you can sense like the tightness of the rhythm, and like the rhythmic play that he brought into Qawwali is also like his innovation. And he made a lot of other like improvements or like additions to the form as well, and took it like to the global stage. And his father, Fateh Ali Khan Sahab, and Mubarak Ali Khan Sahab, his uncle, were also famous Qawwals. And if I remember correctly, like Fateh Ali Khan Sahab was, I'm forgetting the style that he was famous in, like Dargah maybe. And Mubarak Ali Khan Sahab was a Khayal singer. So Nusrat combined elements of Qawwali and Khayal, which are two forms, to bring like those into like mainstream Qawwali now. And like a lot of Qawwalis that are performed today are actually just what Nusrat Saab has performed, and other people performed those in reverence. And he was part of, as I mentioned before, the Patiala Gharana, which also I think has ties to the Delhi Gharana. I might be wrong. Also, again, like I'm a student of this stuff, so please, like if I'm wrong on anything, forgive me. Like people are very passionate. Um, so he collaborated with Peter Gabriel, Eddie Vedder, Michael Brook, like in amongst international artists. And with Eddie Vedder, he has a song called I think "Dead Man Walking," and I might be wrong, but again, like he did that. He did a bunch of film soundtracks. One interesting story is like there was this film soundtrack, and I think it was like this horror movie or something. And Nusrat Saab, like I think they didn't get his clearance, or he didn't see the film before they used his music in the soundtrack. And when he found out like what the film was about, it's like people like getting murked and shit, and then so he was like, yo, I'm not cool with this. And so that's like one interesting story about like his soundtrack, where he was like, nah, don't do this again, please. And people think that Nusrat Saab only sang like qawwalis written by like famous people, but that's not true. He added lyrics to the qawwalis himself. He took poetry from poets such as Shiv Kumar Batalvi, who is like one of the most, I would say, one of the most famous Punjabi poets in the contemporary era. He sang one of his poems called Mai Ni Mai. Um, and if we get time, we'll listen to that. Um, his One of his famous qawwalis is Nit Khair Manga. Nit Khair Manga Sonia mein teri, Duana koi hor mangdi, which means like I only pray for your well-being, and I'm unable to pray for anything else. And yeah, and then his legacy is today carried on by Rahat Fateh Ali Khan and Rizwan Mozam Kawal Group. And yeah, I think at this point, let's listen to something by Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab. And the Qawwali we'll listen to is called Nit Khair Manga. And yeah, let's get into it. Oh yeah, and after this, before we move on to the next section, we can take a little break as well and like chill out, because I know these are long songs, but like I really wanted to like share like what it really is, because I feel like if I shorten the songs, or if I cut them off midway, like you don't really feel that build up and that like what they were trying to do. So yeah, thank you.
ਲਜਪਾਲ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਜੀਆਂ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕੰਮ ਦੀ ਪਲ ਪਲ ਮਾਣੇ ਸੁਖਵੇ ਹਜ਼ਾਰਾਂ ਘੜੀ ਵੇਖੇ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਅਲਮ ਦੀ ਬਦਰ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਮੌਲਾ ਰੱਖੇ ਡੋਲਾ ਤੈ ਤੇ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਕਰਮ ਦੀ ਨਿਤ ਖੈਰ ਮੰਗਾ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਨਿਤ ਖੈਰ ਮੰਗਾ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੁਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਮੰਗਦੀ ਨਿਤ ਖੈਰ ਮੰਗਾ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੁਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਮੰਗਦੀ ਨਿਤ ਖੈਰ ਮੰਗਾ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੀ
That was Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab and one of his Qawwalis, one of the Qawwalis that he sang called Nit Khair Manga. And yeah, it's very beautiful. Like, cause like, it's like I can only pray for you, and I don't even want to pray for anything else. And yeah, and I think yeah, let me close out of this. So, Kawali, actually, that's what we're just about to get into, actually, like what Kawali is and like, what are these concepts like Ishke Mijazi, Ishke Hakiki, all those things. And in Kawali, like deliberately, most of the times, poets use language which is both like it's both relevant to Ishke Mijazi, and Ishke Mijazi is our love for God's creations. So like for other people, for plants, for animals, for any of God's creations, right? Um, and Ishke Hakiki is the is the love you have for God, or the true love. And there's like in this love you want to like merge, and I'll get into all of that, like yeah, but yeah. So like what Qawwali is basically like a celebration of love. Like if you had to summarize it very briefly, it's a genre which very spiritually deeply celebrates love in all its forms. And so in like the Urdu, Hindi language, Punjabi, we have a lot of words for love. Um, so it's difficult to explain these in English, but I'll try my best. So there's like pyar, mohabbat, and ishq. Pyar and mohabbat are the sorts of love where you love somebody and you want to be with them and you want to get them in your life, right? That is pyar and mohabbat. Ishq is a sort of love where instead of getting, you want to give yourself entirely to whom your beloved. And you want to give it up so much that you want to like, okay, I'll tell a story. I think because it's very difficult to explain this shit. Or it's not, it's like very simple. I think all of us understand it at some level. um, there was this young guy. He studied like the Quran, all the theological stuff, and he studied like sciences and all that stuff. And then he went to this murshid, like he went looking for his murshid, the peer. He went to this like mystic, like poet, philosopher, and he went to him and said that I want to become your murid because I've learned all this stuff. Like I've done the sciences, literature, I've done like theology, all this stuff, and I want to become your murid, which means like I want to become your student and learn from you what the next steps are. Like what do I do next? And the the mystic told him, the peer told him that like you should go and do ishq. He said go and love. And he said like, but what do I love, and he said whatever you want to love, go and love. And then he was like, but like I don't know like what this means. And he was like, okay, what do you think you can love? He was like, well, I have a cow at home, and I can love my cow. So he was like, okay, sure, go do that, like go for it. And then the guy went, and he would like, instead of like bathing his cow once a day, he would bathe the cow twice a day. And instead of feeding the cow once a day, he would feed the cow twice a day. And he would take the cow for walks and stuff. And like, and he would come back to this pier and he would say, listen, I've been doing all of this stuff, showing a lot of love to the cow, and like, I'm ready now. What is the next step? And he would be like, no, you don't understand love, go back. And he would keep coming back to this guy and be like, bro, like, you know, come on, and then and then at one point, this one time he came to the peer's house, and the peer's other students came running into the room and said, oh, Peer Sahab, there is somebody outside, and he's saying that I cannot like enter this house because my horns don't fit through the door. And like, so that is like what ishke hakiki means, like to take on like the form of your beloved, or to believe that you are merged with your beloved so much. Like this guy, obviously he didn't have horns, but like, because he had so much love for this being, a creation of God, he was like, I cannot enter this house if my beloved cannot enter this house. And yeah, that's ishq hakiki. And with that, I think we'll take a break. And because, like, I know this is like the Qawwalis themselves are long, me talking is pretty long as well. And yeah, and we'll come back. We'll get into Sufism. We'll go through it very quickly. I don't want to get very deep into it. I don't know much about it. Again, like, I'm a student shit. And yeah, thank you all for like listening so intently so far. I really appreciate it.
We're going to take a 15-minute intermission. Oh, sure.
ससिया के मैं को जम जम खावो ससिया के मैं को जम जम खावो मैं ते दावत दे दी पर
Please feel free to step into the back bodega. Refreshments are served. We have samosas in the back too. Sonic Study Hall.